So games and developer MARRONE'S revealed a new trailer of their upcoming game, Paradise Lost. The video is of a cinematic nature, even if it's a bit different from the usual cinematics, opting instead to pan around a scene frozen in time. Let's take a look. Oh, it's so creepy already.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
All right, that was super intense. That was crazy creepy.
Waffle says, don't get much of a feel for the gameplay yet, though. I don't care at all that we didn't get any gameplay. I think that was the best trailer I've seen all year for a video game.
Seriously.
Honestly. It was creepy. You're like, what's happening? And
You
like,
were
felt really
moved?
dark. Yeah, I was moved.
The
I was
music
moved
too, like when they make those choices, it makes me
Great
think of
music.
like like I think about like the Halo theme song. You think of that, you know, that solo sounding voice that happens, it comes through. It's like when you make that choice of that operatic, you know, that soprano, and then just the darkness of what you see. It's so contrasting that like the whole trailer, I just had like the hairs on my arm standing up. I was like, man, I am so intrigued and creeped out at the same time.
Yeah, as Reeksy says, don't go in there. And they did a great job of layering, like, oh, like first there's like a gun at one person, then there's a gun at another person, and this like evil guy is smiling, and then really they're in a bunker the whole time.
Yeah, and
like,
what's the handle that he's holding? This door is closing, and then you're outside. Yeah.
And it like just kept escalating, you know, the stakes of what's happening. I agree, you know, that song I'm gonna probably forever tie, you know, to this game. I thought they did a great job with that. This is a great cinematic. This only has 7,000 views on YouTube.
Yeah.
At least this specific video, 7,500. I hope it ramps up because this was very chilling to watch.
I agree. So there is actually from their website an official description of Paradise Lost, which, as I was saying, it is coming out to next-gen consoles and PC. And it says this is the last story on Earth that World War II never ended. After 20 years of war, the Nazis carried out a nuclear attack, which changed the face of occupied Poland forever. Can a new world be born from the ashes of the old one?
Take on the role of a 12-year-old boy who finds a mysterious Nazi bunker while roaming a post-nuclear wasteland. Will he find what he seeks there? Can he cope with the loss he suffered?
Explore a vast underground world in which unusual and advanced technology is mixed with Slavic folklore and myths. Are you ready to learn what fate its inhabitants met?
Discover the past, shape the future. The decisions you make while learning the history of the bunker will affect what you see on your journey.
I'm getting that kind of feeling of maybe this is along the lines of those your decisions play out as to the way the story carries out, it might not be too intense. I mean, you are a young character. A lot of those games too, like Life is Strange or even the Walking Dead games, they tend to have like a younger character that you play with, and it's within that decision-making factor. So there's more of the impact that sits with you because you're like, yeah, this is a pretty young character I'm controlling here. I've got to make sure I'm making those right decisions.
Right. I think having a young character is a good way to kind of play with. You can't be the hero all the time. Like if you play a 12-year-old boy, you know, you might not be strong enough to lift some rubble off of someone. Maybe you can't save everyone. I think is a good way to kind of, you know, keep the story out of your hands in a way that doesn't feel like you're just watching a movie. Yeah,
and I'm with Guff is that I think is that just from the cinematic trailer, I feel like the story of the game comes through in a way that brings me in as to my curiosity of what is the story that you're telling here. And them also wrapping up the Slavic folklore into the story, I think is really cool. We've been talking about that recently, like with Assassin's Creed Valhalla, that one game Raji that came out at the Indie Showcase. Seeing these, you know, these myths and these folklores come to life within these games and get to experience them is just a wonderful way to digest history.
It is, and maybe it's just because, you know, we watched that trailer after talking about a lot of Call of Duty, and Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War is coming out, but I'm like, there's so much like post-apocalyptic nuclear like media coming out right now. I'm glad our next story is a little bit of like, I bleach.